When FN first sent me their FN 510 Tactical, and I did my first mag video on it, I immediately pigeonholed the 510 Tactical into the role of a bear gun.
Oh, it's a bear. Oh, it's charging!
Now, make no mistake, it's still my new go-to bear gun the next time I decide to leave the chaos of the city and venture into Smokey the Bear territory. However, relegating the FN 510 Tactical to being only a bear gun is akin to how most G-Wagon owners only use them as glorified grocery getters when the Uber Eats app stops working and they have to pick up their own food. So, if the FN 510 Tactical isn't just a bear gun, what is it?
Let me tell it. This is a self-defense powerhouse. You see, a lot of people don't realize is that the 10mm was actually the preferred round as a people stopper before it became the preferred round to dealing with Smokey the Bear and all of his ghetto cousins. You see, there was a time period where the FBI was dealing with a shootout in Miami, and 2 of their agents got killed by these 2 bank robbers. And a large reason for that, when they did the autopsy, they discovered that a lot of their 9mm bullets just weren't penetrating deep enough. So the FBI said, we need a more powerful semi-automatic handgun. And that's where the 10mm came into play. So they decided to make all the agents start carrying 10mm. Problem is, that didn't last so long because it is a powerful round. A lot of the FBI agents just couldn't shoot it that well.
Now, before you finish watching this video, I want to quickly talk about the hearing protection that I'm wearing in this video. These are the AKT1 blackout wireless in-ear hearing protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in a charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. Aesthetically, the size of the 510 Tactical looks like a 509 Tactical just got his heart broken by a girl and started hitting the gym to deal with the sadness. Combine that with the 50 million different textures on the grip and serrations on the slide, and it looks like a tatted up bodybuilder. Now, as someone who loves the color black as much as I do, the FN 510 Tactical is oddly a gun I prefer in FDE over black. Yes, the slide is a different shade of FDE than the frame, but I've always liked the 50 shades of FDE that FN is known for, especially on their scars. But when you contrast the FDE with black accessories, man, it looks real clean.
So my original go-to 10mm handgun was this Glock 20. Now, besides me not really being able to shoot it very well, I also always felt like I was shooting a school bus out of a 2x4, where this FN 510 Tactical just feels like a more refined, modern version of a full-size 10mm in a semi-automatic handgun. I mean, you have all of the abilities to put all of the tactical accoutrements that you want on a gun, chambered in 10mm with a 22-round magazine and a 15-round flush magazine. And honestly, the gun just shoots so much smaller than it looks and also feels smaller than it looks, because when I shoot this, I feel like I'm shooting a 509. And that gun's chambered in 9mm. This is chambered in 10mm. That says a lot. But I'm still gonna keep this.
The 510 Tactical has a dizzying array of features. There's the 15 round and 22 round magazine that it comes with, which 22 rounds of 10mm is just wild if you ask me. Then there's a threaded barrel, the absolute awesome suppressor height iron night sights, the low pro optic mounting system that sits low enough to get a co-witness with Leupold Delta Point Pros, which are notorious for having a high rear end, the 1913 rail for lights, interchangeable back straps, loaded chamber indicator, and the gun is completely, and I mean completely, ambidextrous.
So, the question remains, how does it shoot? Well, so to provide some context, I'm not shooting plinking ammo. I'm shooting 10 millimeter Nosler, 180 grain, jacketed hollow points. Hollow points. So to give you some perspective, but shameless ammo sponsor plug there. Now, from a recoil standpoint, I'm used to shooting 10 millimeters out of like 1911 platforms, so forth and so on. And those things, they're beautiful, but they hurt to shoot. They do. And we've been out here shooting all day long, and I've yet to grow tired of shooting this gun. And I think a lot of it has to do with, one, it is polymer. And I think polymer does a better job of absorbing the recoil of this gun. But even still, the recoil impulse on this gun is freaking, it's great. I tire of shooting 10 millimeters because they just become a little daunting. It just becomes a beating and exhausting. That doesn't really happen with the 510 tactical. So a 40 is really snappy. 45s is like a shove thud. This 10 millimeter, honestly, it's sitting somewhere in that 45, like just above 45, like a tad snappier than a 45 out of a gun this same size. So it's like, for instance, the FN 545. I love the way the FN 545 shoots. Freaking love it. I think it's one of the best semi-automatic 45 handguns on the market right now. That's just me. Now, am I biased considering my relationship with FN? Yes, but it's still the truth. It's the absolute truth. Now, with this 510, it's like that 545, except a tad snappier. And for a 10 millimeter, that's saying a lot, especially if I'm looking at this from a self-defense perspective. So technically, dealing with a bear and dealing with a human is still, they're all self-defense. It's different. The only difference though is with a bear, you have this massive behemoth of a thing, right? So you can just, right? Whereas when you're dealing with humans, we're small, we're fragile little creatures. So if I'm talking about dealing with people who are smaller, I want a gun that gives me the confidence to be able to shoot and know that I'm gonna hit my target with some efficiency. Like, if I really wanted to, you could run this gun. And if you notice, the gun isn't bouncing all over my hand. I'm not going to re-grip the gun and any of that, and any of those things. I love the way this thing shoots, and a lot of it too is the ergonomics. Now, I know I talked about how this grip texture here kind of looks like some type of disease, even though visually I kind of like the chaoticness, but it actually, it works because it's a slim feeling gun without feeling too small in your hands. And for me, it allows me to get a grip on this gun in a way that I can manage that recoil in the way that muzzle flips, and just gives me the confidence of being able to shoot this gun almost like I'm shooting a 9mm. That is saying a lot. And a lot of it too is this trigger. It's FN's typical 5 series double hinge trigger. Some people hate it, some people love it. I will say their triggers, the double hinge trigger prior were kind of a gritty mess in a lot of ways. They were good under live fire, but they were kind of, but as of late, all of the new releases from FN, they've smoothed out this trigger quite a bit, and under live fire, you really notice it. Like, it's just boom. And then here, there's your reset, boom. Boom, reset, boom. And I like it. It's a very good trigger because I can run fast. And it doesn't impede my ability to run fast. She's doing this long, gritty trigger. It's boom, boom, boom. Like, it's just natural. And that's the thing I look for in a gun. Can I shoot it intuitively? Like what I just did there, I wasn't aiming with the sights. I was point shooting. And that's a lot of things that's why I miss a lot of times, because I'm point shooting while I'm talking to you. But for the most part, can it naturally come on target and I can just hit my target without overthinking it every single time? I can just get on the gun and it points naturally. Yeah, sure, I'm not gonna be 100%, but it's natural. It's because what are you gonna do in a stress response? You're gonna be like, oh shit! Like, you think you're gonna be here, sitting here, taking your time, all right, line it up, look at yeah, squeeze. No, you're gonna flinch, you're gonna be like, oh crap, and you're gonna shoot. And so I want a gun that points natural and straight for me, and that was one of the critiques I have. Look, I go hard on a Glock 20. The Glock 20 is a phenomenal gun. it just doesn't work for me. Everything objectively, it's a good gun. But for me, the grip angle is exaggerated on the 20. So even then, I'm here. I'm doing like, so my shots tend to be high. Whereas here, it's natural. It's almost like a 1911 point of aim. And I like that because it works with my body. So from a shooting perspective, this is a shooting gun. Some 10 millimeters are kind of designed to be emergency use only. You're not gonna wanna go to the range. You're not gonna wanna go shoot it for a long time. No, this is a workhorse. That's what this is. It's a workhorse. It's not cheap, but it's a very high value workhorse. And I have everything I need on it, from my ability to put a suppressor on it if I want to suppress it. If I want to put a light on it, I can put a red dot on it. I have my suppressor height sights. Everything on the gun is there for you. There's nothing to do with the gun. There's nothing to do on the gun. It's there. I don't have to change anything. And then the fact that it shoots so naturally and intuitive for me, from a shooting standpoint, this gun is bar none. It's the top 5 easy, maybe the top for best shooting 10 millimeters on the market right now. Sue me. So, who is this gun for? I think it's for the power hungry. Those people who are like, I need the absolute most powerful carry gun, self-defense gun that I can get in a semi-automatic platform with a well-established capacity. And this gun does that in spades. Also, I think anybody who is bigger, who has the frame to conceal carry something like this relatively easy. Because the crazy thing is, the gun is big, the gun isn't light, it's decently weighted, but it's really kind of like a 509 on a little bit of trend, little HDH, you know, it's kind of little Creighton, throw that in there too. By and large, from a 10 millimeter standpoint, it's this gun's shootability, the ergonomics, the accruchima of features that I keep alluding to, from a home defense, concealed carry, open carry, you want a person stopper. I mean, I don't know what to tell you now. Technically, this should be my bedside gun. The reason it's not is because I have this FUD love affair with the 9 millimeter. I just can't seem to let it go. I'm like those older guys who are in love with 45s and don't want to let those go. But at the end of the day, I think as far as who's this gun for, everyone. Because I think everybody should have at least one 10 millimeter in their collection, me personally. Now, I'll probably do another video about the top 5 guns I think everybody should have, but I do think everybody should have at least one 10 millimeter. And I think considering how close this is to the 509 platform, how well it shoots compared to the 509 platform, it just makes sense.
So can I have that one? I know you heard me. I know you can hear me.
Peter, I wouldn't give you my Glock 20. What makes you think I'm gonna give you this?
I just thought I'd ask.
Weirdo. Shut up, Peter.
You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for, or hopefully even avoid, a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.